Hey everybody and welcome. This is our 30-minute yoga class. My name is Beth. I'm so glad you're here. Today's yoga practice is going to focus on flexibility and strength. And if you've been following some of my other videos, you know we've been practicing some longer holds, which really help in flexibility. So I'm going to add a couple of those in today as well. As always, modify any poses that you need to. This is your practice, so make it work for you. Let's get started. We're going to start down in child's pose. So come down to your mat. Start with your knees apart this time. So toes together, knees apart, and reach forward on your mat. Drop your forehead to your mat. And let's take a few minutes in this starting pose just to allow ourselves to become present for our practice. Slow down your breathing. And know that you're on your mat. Practicing being present is an important part of our yoga practice, so we really like to cue that throughout the time together, trying not to let the mind wander. Notice any areas if the 30 minutes together, maybe we leave some of that nice long deep breaths and nice long exhales. Help yourself up into down dog. And just pedal your feet slowly, pausing when one heel is down on the mat. So you get a nice hamstring stretch. Maybe this time your heels don't make it all the way down to the mat, especially the first part of the practice. That's okay. Just do your best. Couple pedals on each side. And then pause in down dog, pressing both heels back. Push your hands away from your feet. Release your neck so that the crown of your head is hanging down. Push your hips back. Try not to lock your knees, so maybe we need a little bend in our knees. And then walk your feet forward or hop forward. And just pause here in a forward bend, releasing your neck. Relax arms. Weight is in your toes. You can bring your hands towards your elbows. Roll your head from side to side a couple times. And just noticing how the neck is doing today. Upper back. Feel the hamstrings. Just be present in your body. And then very slowly, one vertebrae at a time, roll up. Keeping your chin at your chest until you're all the way up, coming into prayer pose. In prayer pose, the knuckles are pressing against the chest so that you're making a connection with your heart, noticing the relationship between your breath and your heartbeat, if you can feel your heartbeat in your chest. Sometimes it's so light we don't feel it. So close your eyes and just set your intention for your practice today. Notice that you're standing on your mat, having gratitude for this time. Good for you guys for giving this gift to yourself. On your next inhale, bring your arms all the way up, fingertips together, reaching back. Open up your chest towards the ceiling. Straighten your spine and exhale, forward bend. Notice if this forward bend feels a little different. Inhale, halfway up. Chin is forward. Weight in the toes. And exhale, full. Step all the way back into a plank pose. Squeeze the glutes. Pull the belly in. Press your hands away from you into the mat. Nice strong pose here. Now we're going to lower the body down. If you like, you can bring your knees to the mat, or you can do it still in plank pose, whatever works for you. Either way, keep your glutes engaged. Bend your elbows in towards your ribs. Lower yourself halfway down. Flatten your feet and push up into up dog, shining your heart forward. Shoulders are back. Tighten the glutes. Curl your toes under, press back into down dog as you exhale. And separate your feet the width of your mat and let your hips float from side to side. Pausing in the middle, bring your feet back to hip distance apart and lift your left leg up behind you. Point your toes, nice stretch here. Keep that right heel rooting down into the mat and just draw a couple circles in one direction. With that left leg and then a couple times in the opposite direction. And then bring that left foot forward. Ready, lift up into warrior two. Warrior one. Try not to sink down in warrior one. Sometimes I see people like really low towards the ground. Try to keep that strength in the pose, using your core and your hips to keep you lifted up. Spread those fingers, press those shoulders down. One deep breath here. And then open up into warrior two. Reaching out in opposite directions. Fingers are spread, looking over that left arm. Reverse warrior, left arm up. So you can bring that arm straight up towards the ceiling or reach back for a deeper stretch. Either way, that right shoulder is nice and relaxed. Excuse me. Come back to warrior two. Straighten that right leg. Try not to lock it though. Reaching forward. So shift your upper body forward as far as you can. Turn your palms out and start pivoting over into triangle pose. Coming down as far as you can. Trying to bring your arms perpendicular to the floor. So you can stay with your left hand at your knee. You can slide it down. Or you can come all the way down to the floor, but find the version of the pose that's best for you. If you're feeling a little wobbly in this pose, keep your gaze down at the floor. If you want to challenge your balance, then look up at your hand that's at the ceiling. Notice, be present in the pose. Check in with your breath. And then on your next breath, come back to warrior two. Rainbow your arms down. Step that left foot back into down dog. And then inhale into plank. Shift your weight forward or bring your knees to the mat, either one. Bend your elbows in, lower yourself halfway. Come onto the tops of your feet and right into up dog. Tuck your toes. Down dog. Right leg up. And draw some circles. A couple circles in one direction. This is really nice for the hip. Keep the toes pointed. And then some in the opposite direction. And then bring that right foot forward in between your hands. Cupcake hands, so fingertips on the mat. Shine your heart forward. Press your shoulders back. Left heel pressing into the mat. And then when you're ready, lift up into warrior one. Shoulders pressing down. Keep that nice strength in your hips. Open up into warrior two. My back is going to be to you guys. I apologize. Reaching out in opposite directions, looking over that right hand. Spread those fingers. Make sure that right knee is not falling over to the left. So tracking over the right ankle. And then reverse your warrior. Right arm up towards the ceiling. Relaxing that left shoulder. Or maybe reaching back behind you, over your head. Deep stretch through the right side of the body. Come back into warrior two and straighten that right knee. Shift your upper body forward, reaching forward from the hips. The left hip is kind of pushing back a little bit. Turn your palms out, and then slowly pivot down into your triangle pose as far as you can. Either looking at the ground for stability or looking straight ahead, or you can look up towards the ceiling, whatever feels right for you. Notice what's happening in this pose. Feel your body. Feel your feet rooting down into the mat. Notice your breath. Always staying present in our practice. Inhale and come back to warrior two. Rainbow the arms down. Step the right foot back into down dog. Shift forward into plank. Chaturanga, you can drop your knees if you like. Bend your elbows. Flatten your feet, coming onto the tops of your feet, right into up dog. Press those shoulders back, shine the heart forward. Bring your knees to your mat and come into child's pose just for a reset. A couple of nice deep breaths. Visiting your intention for your practice today. And notice if you're able to stay present, again, in your practice, not letting the mind wander. That's going to happen 100 times, even in 30 minutes. When that happens, just notice your breath, feel the body on your mat. So important for our practice. All right, come up into down dog. And walk it out a little bit. Pause in down dog. Bring your left leg up. Reaching up as high as you can with those toes. Keep that right heel pressing down into the mat. Down dog split. Reach up as high as you can. Feel that nice stretch on the right side of the groin. And then slowly bring that left foot forward. Coming down into a lunge, low lunge. And bring your hands up into prayer pose. Now, if it's better for you, especially on your knees, you can lower that right knee down to the mat. So that's a nice modification. Maybe say you just want to do that, or maybe you want to keep that knee straight. That's up to you. Right heel is pushing down towards the mat. Nice strong body, core is engaged, shoulders are back. Trying to keep your shoulders over your hips as much as you can. Take a deep breath in, lengthen through your spine. And as you exhale, twist to the left, clipping your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Find grace here in this pose. It's a real challenge to your balance here. So do your best. If you're wobbling, that's okay. Push your left shoulder over your back. Release. Come back to center. Try not to fall down. Bring your arms up overhead. And lower your hands down to your mat. Lower your knee. And as you exhale, fold over that left. Inhaling, So when we hold these poses for a longer amount of time, we want to melt into the pose. The body is going to resist it. So one way we can help to calm the body down is to take longer exhales. So if you watch some of the other videos, you remember the breathing was 4 beats on the inhale and 8 beats on the exhale. See if that works for you. Relaxing the body. Inhaling, exhaling nice and long. Couple more breaths right here. Maybe you're finding that you can go deeper into the pose the more that your mind is relaxed. Stretch, reflex with our breath. One more breath. Nice, everybody. Okay, bring that left foot down towards the mat. Walk your hands. Inhale, bring your elbows back, shine your heart up. And bring your arms up. And exhale, forward bend. Hands on the mat. Down dog, walk it out. Separate your feet the width of your mat. And just let your hips slide from side to side. Drop your head. Come back to center. Bring your feet back to hip distance apart. Lift your right leg up. Stretching here, point the toes and reach those toes up as high as you can. Push your hands away from that standing foot, down dog split. You might notice on this side, maybe this leg goes higher or maybe it doesn't go as high. That's all right. Just notice, no judgment. And then shift your weight forward, bring that right foot in front. Cupcake hands, shoulders back, shine your heart forward. And remember, you can bring your left knee to the mat if that feels better. So that's always an option for you. We're all at different places in our practice, and sometimes there are days when we just need a more gentle practice. So honor where you are today. And then when you're ready, bring your arms up as you straighten your spine. Keep your focal point, so just keeping your eyes gazing at a dot in front of you. And then bring your hands to heart center. Holding here, knuckles to the chest, fingers pressing into each other. Inhale. And then as you exhale, lift up out of your hips and twist to the right. Trying to bring your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Go slowly. Be graceful. Press that right shoulder back. So to challenge your balance, look up towards the ceiling. If you're feeling wobbly, keep your gaze down. Whatever works for you. Notice. Nice, everybody. Release your posture. Bring your arms up overhead. And release your hands to the mat. Left knee on the mat. Shift your hips back. Flex your right ankle. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, release your torso down onto that right thigh. Relax your shoulders. You can maybe bring your forehead to the shin or your chin to your chest. So a 1 minute long hold here. Track your breathing. And let your body be like a wet noodle in this pose. When we relax the body and the mind, we become more flexible. So see if that is true for you. Going back to that 4-8 breathing, 4 beats in on your inhale and 8 beats out. If that's too long for you, you can shorten it. Just try to keep your exhale longer. About 6 more breaths. And notice if the stretch, especially in that hamstring, notice if it's changing the longer you hold the pose. One more breath. And release your posture. Bring your right knee forward. Walk your hands forward. Step that right foot back. Come into down dog. We'll just pedal it out to release those holds. And then let's try a balancing posture in down dog. So find your best down dog. Relax your head. Don't lock your knees. Rooting down through your hands and your feet. Pull your belly in. Lift your left arm up in front of you. Doesn't have to be very high, just off the mat. And then your right foot off the mat. Reaching that right foot back. Keep your focus on your center of gravity. Right at your belly button. One more breath. And relax. That's a hard one. Relax your posture. Walk it out. And then come back into down dog. Let's really be present in this down dog and visualize ourselves doing the other side with real strong holds in that balance. So bring the right arm up off the mat and the left foot back. Keep your core engaged. Relax your neck. Maybe this side is easier or maybe it's harder. Notice what's true for you. One more breath. And relax your posture. That was really fun. Come down onto your knees. Separate your knees and your ankles. Release your hips down in between your legs. If this is too hard on your knees, you can just come into a regular child's pose, or if you have a block handy or a couple books or pillows, you can put those underneath you to lift your hips a little higher. So make this work for you. To our backs. Bent knees, feet are on the mat, arms are out into a T shape, and just slowly rock your knees from side to side. As your knees are transversing the mat, try to have a little bit of a pelvic tilt so that you get a nice massage in the lower back. Couple more times. And notice if your breathing is coordinating with the movement. So inhaling to one side and exhaling to the other. Pausing with the knees in the middle. Extend the right leg out, ankle is flexed. Pull the left knee into the chest. Legs straight up towards the ceiling. Ankle is flexed. Press the belly in towards the spine. Bring your arms out into cactus pose. Both ankles are flexed. Knee is straight but not locked. And see how close to your torso you can bring that left thigh. So maybe your leg is perpendicular to the floor. Try not to go much past that. Like we don't want to hyperextend right here in this pose. So as perpendicular to the floor as you can get it. Press your shoulder blades in so you don't feel them pressing into your mat. Inhale. And then exhale, lift your head, neck, shoulders, arms up off the mat. And inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And lower. One more time, lift. And lower. Bring both knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. And then switch sides. Left leg is out, right leg is up towards the ceiling. Both ankles are flexed. Knee is straight but not locked. Pull your navel into your spine. Bring your arms into cactus pose. And just notice what you feel in this pose. Where is there tension in the body? Especially notice the parts of your body that are not involved in the pose, like your mouth and the muscles around your eyes and in your face. They should be nice and relaxed right now. So we don't want to be tensing up any part of us that we don't need to use, unless of course you're smiling with joy, then that's okay. And then let's add a little bit of core work here. Pull your belly in, inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. One more time. And lower. Pull both legs in towards your shoulders. Release over to the left, knees to the floor, open out into a T shape. Turn your head to the right. Nice stretch here. If you want a little deeper stretch, take your left hand and press on your left leg, press that leg away from your body. You get a nice stretch through the hips. And then come back to center and over to the other side. Same thing, just relaxing into the pose. You can take your right hand and press on your thigh if you want. Look over to the left. And then release your posture. Bring your legs down onto your mat. Reach up overhead. Stretch as you inhale. And then exhale, release. And set yourself up for your best Shavasana pose. Just noticing your body resting on the mat. A lot of people are going to end the video right here and go on to your next thing. But your Shavasana is the best you can do for your mental self. Just noticing the breath and taking the next minute to release and let go of everything that's on our plate today. And just notice the miracle of each breath that you take in and each breath that you let out. I wish we could stay here for about 15 more minutes, but you can if you like. If you're on to your next thing, roll over onto your side and we'll close our practice. But if you have time to stay in Shavasana, please do. So grateful that you joined me today. Have a great rest of your day. Make sure you check out all the Driven YouTube videos. They're awesome. There's something for everybody. So make sure you check those out. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. I'll see you next time.